Hi, everybody, and welcome to GenFriends. I'm your host, Cheri Hudson Passey from Carolina Girl Genealogy. And with me tonight, I've got two awesome panel members. We've got Terry O'Connell. Terry is going to be on talking to us about IDG and some other things. And we've also got Mary Kircher-Roddy from MKR Genealogy.
Hi there.
Welcome, ladies.
Welcome. Thank you.
It's so good. It's so good to have you tonight. We're also going to talk a little bit about social media, genealogy and social media, and how to use, don't be afraid of it, how to use social media for your genealogy. There's some great resources out there, but I wanted to get started tonight with Terry. Terry, IDG made a big announcement today, and we're so sad. We have all loved being a part of IDG, and I just wanted to give you a few minutes to talk about that and what is coming up with you after post IDG.
Okay, so IDG's sad news is that after 6.5 years, we're closing our doors. Very, very sad. Really, we view all our writers and everybody behind the scenes as part of our own little family. You know, it's not a surname family, it's the IDG family. And every time we've welcomed somebody in, it's always been to the family. So I feel like, you know, like we're cutting ties with the family, and I really hope it's not like that. But so we decided to close doors. It's just not financially feasible for us to continue. And it was very, very hard, sad decision to make because it's, you know, it's like our child.
Oh,
and now we have to, you know, send it off and say goodbye. With that, though, we've gotten a lot of great emails in support, you know, thanking us for everything we've done. From people that I didn't even know were still reading our emails. So that was really cool to see, you know, just, hey, we wish you well. We know this isn't the end. We know we're going to see you someplace else. So for now, the blog is still there. I believe we'll keep everything online until September, I believe, for the blog. But the magazine, you have until the end of next month to download anything if you're a subscriber. So you can go in and download them all.
Okay. Now, also, I think the email that came out today said that you can download them to Dropbox.
You can, but again, you have to be a subscriber.
You have to be a subscriber, but then you can go and download them to Dropbox, and then if you want to take them from there and put them on your computer or anything else you want to put them on,
so you know, you've paid for them.
Exactly.
We're continuing to give you that access. They're still there for you. There just will not be anything new coming. Now, for all the other stuff on the website, all the in brief guides and the books, right now those are all on sale. That goes through, I think Jen put a date of, I want to say August 15th. I'm not 100% on that. To purchase those by. I'm not 100% what's happening to those after that date at this point. You might see them someplace else. You know, all of that is still, the background stuff is still working on what we're going to do with the product we do have. But great sales prices, so go and purchase.
Oh, take advantage of it now. Exactly, because if they do end up someplace else, you're not going to get the great sale prices. So go get them now.
Absolutely. There's the land book. That Civil War book is amazing. I remember editing it and stopping so I can go and look at the websites and see if I can find my people.
Yes.
Cindy provided so much great information. That's a wonderful book. All the in brief guides that we have out there, they're by state, subject matter. A lot of great information in there as well. So get those while you can at a great, great price.
Exactly. Well, I know as a writer that I have really, really enjoyed the family. And you're right, it has felt like family, and I felt supported even when I made crazy mistakes with titles or photos or whatever. You know, change this, you misspelled this. You know how you do that. You've looked at something 500 times and you don't see it. But y'all have always been so great with that, and I appreciate it. I know Mary has said that she feels the same way.
You know,
Part of a family.
It definitely is that family. And what's funny is I look back to like where we started, and it was just a bunch of friends getting together to put like a newsletter out.
Yes.
So we did so much in that 6.5 years.
Right.
And we're grateful that the genealogy community just embraced us and helped us along the way. There were so many people, behind the scenes that cheered us on and gave ideas. And, it's a great community to be in.
It sure is. So what's next for you? You'll still come on GenFriends when you can and be a panelist.
Absolutely, just not in March. So for myself, I still have Finding Our Ancestors. I've not blogged on it in maybe 6 months.
Now maybe you'll have time.
I have so many ideas written down, and I just need to go and write. So I'm doing that still. I am taking care of a lot of genealogy travel with Philibert Ortega on her genealogy cruises. So we're still doing that. And that's fun. I've got a group set to go to Ireland to research in next June. That's going to be a great time. I'm really looking to focus on that genealogy travel, like Mary going to Germany to the places of her people.
Exactly.
It's so important to be able to do. And I just want to be a part of that story for anybody who wants help doing it.
Well, make sure you give me any links that you want me to put on so that people can know what you're doing, and we'll get those links onto the blog post and onto the YouTube when I post it onto YouTube. So we'll get that in both places for people to find you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And see what you're doing. Speaking of that, just briefly, I'm going to say Mary in 9 days is heading to Germany to visit the land of her ancestors. So when she gets back, we're going to have her come and tell us all about that and get us all excited about visiting the lands of our ancestors. I know that I'm going to go to London in October, but I don't think, because I'm going to be just kind of caught up in that Roots Tech London area, and I don't know if I'm going to get out of there to go do anything else. So I'm envious of just taking that trip just to go to the lands where they live. So yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited for you, and I'm excited for when you get back to tell us everything you did.
Thanks.
and give us some recommendations on if we're going to plan this for ourselves, how you did it, how you went about planning it. So I'm excited for when you get back. So anyway, with that said, let's talk about Facebook. Not Facebook, social media. Well, we will talk about Facebook, social media, and genealogy. I think sometimes people are a little bit afraid of social media, and they don't get it. They don't understand. And I know when I've talked to groups about this, I see people just go, "Oh my gosh, it didn't even click that they can do these things." So let's start with Facebook. How have you used Facebook, and what has it done for you as far as genealogy? Now, the first thing that comes to my mind when I talk about Facebook and genealogy is Catherine Wilson's genealogy on Facebook list, and she updates it all the time, and I can't even tell you, it's thousands of links to sites on Facebook. Yeah. That have nothing to do with anything else but genealogy. And I tell people, if you don't want to get on and you don't want to share what you did today, you don't have to go into these genealogy groups. Just make your little icon, but I tell them you need to have it a person, because they want to make sure you're real. They don't want you to be some kind of spammer, some kind of crazy person. They want to know you're a real live human being. But once you get onto these groups, as long as you've got your settings, you have all your privacy settings, they can't get back onto your page. They can't see what you're doing, because the only people that can see you are the people in the group, and you can only see those group members. And so that's a safe way to do it, just for genealogy. So have you guys got a story or any something that you can share?
A couple things that I use Facebook for. Two major things, actually. Mm-hmm. On a lot of the groups, and I'm on some of the state groups, and people have questions. They want to know how to do things. And so I use those as a jumping off point for blog posts. It's like if somebody has a question of how to do something, a lot of people probably have that same question.
Exactly. You're exactly right.
I can write a blog about it.
Yeah.
I can incorporate those into my presentations. And so it's a great tool for what do people want to know that I can teach them.
I agree.
And so I really love it for that. And then I am all about begging a live one.
I know you are.
Which is connecting with living relatives. And so in my Bagging a Live One talk, I do talk a lot about Facebook because that's a great way to find people. And when it's kind of a two-sided thing that I want everybody to be on Facebook. And I tell the people in my audiences, okay, you want to keep your friends lists private because you don't want anybody, scamming on your friends. But
on the other hand,
yes, you hope that all those cousins of the people that you were searching for in obituaries don't know that rule.
Right.
And they list all their friends. And so then you can go through and look at people's friends lists and just put in a surname in the search box and see if, the family names pop up. And then you have the right family. So
and on the backside of that too, like when I had cousin connections on Ancestry that were, they would save something that I saved to my tree to their tree, and they would say, so-and-so saved this file too. I'd go in and look for them on Facebook. If you can't find them anywhere else, you can at least find them there.
That's a good point.
This one family, I couldn't get anybody to reply to me on Ancestry, but now I've met the parents. The daughter and I are friends on Facebook. So it really is so worthwhile.
It sure is. It really is. I'm talking about the groups. I've had a couple of really good experiences with the groups. One of them is there's a genealogy translation group. They're fabulous. You get a record from, a country you don't speak the language. You can put that on there and ask for people to translate. Anything like that, or whatever document you may find. And I know I've told the story before. I gave them a document that had shorthand on it because I didn't think of anywhere else to ask. But I knew surely somebody in that group either could read shorthand or knew somebody who did. And it wasn't 5 minutes before somebody came back and had it translated. And it was a song that my grandmother had written. It was a love song on the back of one of her school papers. So, of course, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, maybe she wrote it for my grandfather because they knew each other at that point before they got married. But who knows? So the genealogy translations group is fabulous. And then I have been able to post photos in the different, I've got, I belong to all the state groups like we talked about. All the states have a genealogy group. Most counties do. Most, like the Huguenots do. Most of your groups like that. Have there's a Quaker genealogy group, all those kinds of things. So I found a photo on eBay and I posted a photo on eBay and I didn't know who it was. It had a name on it, but I wasn't sure if it was even the right name. And I posted it in a county genealogy group, and I was able to get that photo back to the family.
Amazing. So,
there are so many things you can use on Facebook, and that's why that list that Catherine does has thousands of pages. There's
even outside the groups and the pages out there, the genealogy community, for the most part, is absolutely helpful in everything.
Exactly.
When I first got on here, and I only had like a small handful of friends, I had it was something from Russia that I needed translated. And Thomas McEntee found somebody, and he was like, post it and we'll get it. And, lose a lot. Google Translate's great for the basics.
But you need somebody that really knows the language. Yeah.
And then you really get the back end of it. Anytime I've needed help, like, okay, I can't read this on Ancestry. What does it say? And, people have been able to, 500 different people, blah, 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 blah.
That's right.
Right. So never discount just the community itself beyond
Exactly.
the
You're absolutely right. Start friending those friends. If you want to, just friend people that you know from genealogy. If you don't want to do anything else,
right,
just
exactly.
yeah. And so you don't have to post pictures of your grandkids. You don't have to tell everybody where you went on vacation. You
Right.
don't have to do any of that kind of stuff. Just use these resources on Facebook, and we'll put links to all these things on my blog post and on the YouTube side too. We'll do that. Do you guys use Instagram? I use Instagram. Do you guys use Instagram for
I do,
genealogy?
but not for
I don't.
genealogy.
Yeah.
I find for me, and people use social media for different things, and but for me, and probably because I don't know how to use it as well as I should, it helps me connect with other genealogists, especially other professional genealogists, and see what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a whole bunch of, then it goes by fast, and it's not, a lot of times you've got to be real careful with it though, because it can be there and gone, and you're like, where was that? So make sure you can actually, on Instagram, you can actually highlight things and keep it for later. Bookmark it is what I mean, and keep it for later. So make sure you do, because it might not be there the next time you look at it. But I follow as many genealogists and the companies and things like that as possible. And I find that there's a slightly different audience there. And so I want to be able to get the word out of what I'm doing as well, and as many platforms as possible.
I think that's definitely, you hit something really important there. It's a different audience, and it is mostly a younger audience.
Mm-hmm. So some of us old ladies are trying to, get
Right.
hip and
We're
get on it.
infiltrating.
We're infiltrating, and then they'll go someplace else. But I do find that I like it for a quick look. What is everybody doing? What are the different professional genealogists doing? What are my friends who are genealogists? What are they up to? What are they doing? And so I really, really like that. And you can still comment, and you can still, it's just different. There's not a button to share. It's just a different type of course, there's an app that you can share, but that's going way too deep into Instagram. And I'm sure that people watching this will say, well, wait a minute, you can do this and you can do that and you can do other things. But, I'm trying to learn a little bit as I go. I don't want to spend hours upon hours upon hours learning how to use one or two social media. I've got things to do.
Right.
So, and so I use it mainly really just to kind of a quick find out, what people are doing. So, and a lot of people will post one time and it shows up on their Instagram and on their Facebook. So you can do that as well. I like to mix it up just a little bit. Seems like there's more hashtags that people use on Instagram.
Oh my God, they're like a foot long.
Yeah. You just keep going and you keep going. But the reason for that on Instagram is because people will follow the hashtags.
Right.
And so you want people to find you. Like every time I do something, like most people know that I do turtle patrol here, and we walk the beach looking for turtle nests. And so if I put a picture up that I've, gone and done something with turtle patrol, I've got a lot of people that follow me because I put the sea turtle hashtag and turtle patrol, things like that. So the same thing works for genealogy, or if you're looking for information on a certain topic, use that hashtag, and those people that follow that hashtag will follow you, and then you can learn from them. So it's a good learning platform, I think, as well.
And just to top it off, if you look at your insights, you can see where they're coming to you from, which hashtag is working for you.
Yes.
That's important as you go forward with things.
Oh, I agree with you. Yeah. Learn where people are coming from. I know that there's some people say, I tried the social media platform for a while. It wasn't bringing anybody to me. I wasn't getting anything from it. So I'm not going to waste my time on it anymore. So, my thing is, if I would think I must not be using it right, or, if I wasn't getting anything from it and I want to relearn, or I might say the same thing. I'm not getting anything from it. So maybe I should put all my, my time into some other social media. Right. And then there's Pinterest. Does anybody use Pinterest?
Love Pinterest. I haven't been on it in a while, but Pinterest is probably, like for IDG, it was the number 2 source for bringing people back to the website.
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's just
like Instagram? A picture is worth 1,000 words, and it's all about the picture. And again, the hashtags in there for people to search for it.
Right. And if you've never used, Mary, do you use Pinterest?
I use it, but not a ton for genealogy. I use it kind of for some other things.
Oh, okay.
But I do use it some for getting genealogy ideas and
Mhm.
and finding some sites.
So if you've never used Pinterest, or at least never used it for genealogy, it's wonderful for making. It's almost like a bulletin board. You know, we pin things up on a bulletin board. When you find things that you want to read or you want to keep or whatever, you post it, and you can create your own board that says genealogy. There, I've got a board for genealogy crafts, like I'm ever going to craft.
Mhm.
Oh,
But I want to
yeah,
think I'm
that's a big
going
one
to
for me.
craft, you know?
Yes, yeah.
I want to think I'm
Yeah.
going to do it
Yeah.
one day. So I collect, you know, I have this board. And you know what? You can keep it private. You don't have to
Mhm.
you don't have to have other people know that one day you want to make this and
You know
call
what I
you
love
on it and say, "Did you ever make it?" And you have to say no. You don't.
Mhm. I love the option of that private. Do you know how many young girls, like in their early 20s, have wedding boards already started?
Yes, I know, and so nobody can look at it and go,
Right,
"Ah, she's already got a
right.
wedding board." So you can
Yeah.
keep it all private if you would like, or, you know, if you wanna share your genealogy ideas with other people, then you can open it up for them to look at. Business ideas, I've got a private board for business ideas, so it doesn't always it's for my genealogy business, but it's not strictly genealogy, just
Right,
things that I see that I can't read right now, that I
right.
don't have time to read, I can post, and when I can pin it, I mean, and then when I have a few extra minutes, like, yeah, that happens, then I can go and I can start reading some of those ideas that I found on there. So, and I love the format because it is the photos in this big board, and you can quickly see what you want and click on it and go look at it. So, yeah, try Pinterest if that and there's
And
go ahead,
an
Terry.
important tip for anybody who is a professional genealogist or who is writing, so like
Mhm.
anybody who was writing for IDG or Mary, for all the different places you're writing at, is to make sure you have a media um, section,
Mm.
which is your about you and some of your best posts, so that if somebody is searching for you, they find that media section
That's a
and
great
all
idea.
your information is there
That's a
So a media section on
on
Pinterest?
Pinterest. So hang on,
Okay.
I'm
so
going to,
like a board for media.
it's like a media board
Oh,
basically.
okay,
Okay.
okay. So your best, like, you know, pictures of you speaking someplace, or a good article
Um,
that you wrote, or
let me. I haven't been on in a long time. Let me find my.
While you're looking for that, and I know we're not
Book.
probably really talking about blogging, but I do have to say something funny
sure.
about a blog post. Um, one of the things I'm doing in my trip to Germany is I'm staying in Airbnbs in the towns where my ancestors lived.
So jealous.
And I always tell that there's a place on Airbnb where you can tell the host why you're going there. So I try to tell them that
Yeah.
my third great grandfather was a shoemaker in this town in the 1830s and 1840s, and my host was very excited about it and said, "Oh, we should have a party." And then he emailed me and said, "Have you seen what the genealogist Mary Kircher-Roddy has written?" It's like, that's me.
I
So
love
he searched my
that.
name and found my
Oh,
blog, which I thought was very funny.
I love it.
That's hysterical.
Oh,
So just to go back and tie that up on Pinterest, I have it's a media kit basically,
mm-hmm.
and it has, you know, like what I think is some of my best pieces that got a lot of attention. And then, you know, a pin that's just about me,
Mm-hmm.
that basically goes back to like IDG's About Me page.
Right.
So it's
Yeah,
all kind of pulled together. So if somebody was looking at you or your boards and they find this, they can
I
find it.
gotcha.
Oh, look, she's a freelance writer, and we can, you know, we're interested in XYZ. Maybe she could help us.
That's a great tip. I love that. Thank you. That
Mhm.
is really good. I really
Yeah,
love that. So what about Twitter? Who's on Twitter? I'm on Twitter.
I'm on Twitter, but I
Yay!
don't do a ton of it.
Me neither.
Twitter for me is just a social hello, you know, just what are y'all doing today? I found this record, just a quick kind of yippee kind of thing, although I do, share any blog posts or anything else that I'm doing on there. But I love Gen Chat. Have y'all been on Gen Chat? I love Gen Chat. I love Gen Chat because, Mary, have you been on Gen Chat?
I tried one time and I just didn't get it. I couldn't figure out how to do it.
You have to follow the hashtag.
You just have to follow the hashtag. And you know what? I will put a link to Gen Chat on there, and I will put a link on some of the platforms that you can use. There are let me tell everybody first what Gen Chat is. About twice a month on a Friday night at 10 o'clock Eastern time. So you got to stay up Friday night for about an hour. A whole group of genealogists get together on Twitter, and we follow the Gen Chat hashtag. And there'll be a topic, and the topic could be anything. Like, some of the topics we choose on here, say it's social media. And you'll get a question. We've got 2 people that are that host it, and they're hysterical and funny, and you can come on ahead of time and just chat before you get there, and everybody welcomes everybody. It's so good to see you, all that kind of stuff. And you become a regular, and everybody loves you and knows you and is so excited for you to go. Don't have to be a professional. You can be a very beginner, or you can be advanced, whatever. There's no qualifying to be on Gen Chat. Anybody can come. We've had people just show up because they see something that's going on, and we got to mute them. So you never know. You never know. Anyway, so there'll be a topic, and they'll say, like, Q1, meaning question 1. What do you use for social media? What platform do you use? And everybody starts saying, and it starts going, it could go really, really fast. So you got to really read quick. But most of the platforms you can read it on, you can pause it, you can slow it down. There's a couple of platforms that are specially for a Twitter chat. So once you sign up to them, you don't have to remember. You just put in there, you're there for Gen Chat, and then you don't have to remember to put that Gen Chat hashtag in again. Because every time you write your tweet to answer your question, and to answer it, you put A1 or A2, whichever question you're answering, it just automatically puts that Gen Chat on there. So it's just been really fun to get to know people in the community. And it's really fun sometimes when things get kind of technical and advanced and you know how to answer it. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm learning things. I can answer these questions. So I call it the fastest hour in genealogy because it really, really goes by fast. So I would challenge everybody to give it a try. And sometimes it does. It takes a while, because I remember the first time I did it, it was crazy fast. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what I'm doing. But after doing it a couple of times, and, people are helpful, and it especially works if you don't try to do it on the Twitter platform. And if you do it on one of the platforms that are specially designed for a Twitter chat, then it makes it much easier. And like I said, those things, you can pause it, reread it, look it over again. And if you can't make it, you can go back the next day, either on Twitter or on the platform that you would have been using, and it's still there, and you can read everything, and you can still comment on things. Because sometimes we have people that are in different time zones, and they can't be there live, but they'll go back and read what we've done, and they'll comment and give their advice and things like that. So Twitter is a fun place to, you got to kind of learn how to use it. You got to have a little patience with it, but Twitter's a good place to get out there and ask your questions. It's a good place to say you need to know something quickly. Guys, help. I need this, and I need this help now. What would you suggest? Put your hashtags on there. I always use genealogy, family history, so that for a hashtag, no matter what I'm doing. And that way, that community, I know what community is going to see it, and I can get quick answers. So that's what I use Twitter for, is really mostly for just kind of touch base with people during the day, quickly ask questions, get to know other genealogists, and I use it for Gen Chat. So I guess the other thing that would be YouTube. I don't know if YouTube is really considered social media.
I think so.
But yeah,
aspect with the comments, and
yeah, that's true. So if you haven't used YouTube, you got to get on there because there are videos, genealogy videos about anything and everything that you could think of. If you got a genealogy program and you can't figure out how to work it, there's probably a video for that.
Any program. I was doing something. Oh, I was editing a registration form for a website I take care of in the genealogy world. And I couldn't figure, I'm on a Mac, so I don't have Word, I have Pages, and I couldn't figure out how to put the checkbox in.
Ah.
And I Googled, and then you look for the video, and it just click here, here, do this, do that. I go to YouTube videos for anything I can't figure out.
And it's especially helpful if you are a visual person, and I know I am. If I watch somebody do something, then I can do it. If I read how they do it, it's harder. I can do it. If I just listen to somebody talk, it's not as easy. If I can read it or if I can watch it, I'm like, oh,
right, because
I can do that.
Back it up, pause, back it up.
Exactly. So there's so many that people have lessons, 10-minute quick tips. They've got all sorts of stuff. And somebody once told me, well, why do people keep, doing this, starting new YouTube channels, new genealogy stuff? And my answer was because sometimes we learn better from different people.
And things change.
And things change. You could listen to a video on, say, DNA from one person and not get it. And then watch the video from another person. And for some reason, it's not this person's better at explaining. It's just somehow in your head it clicks. So I think there's room for everybody out there. There's absolutely room for everybody. So take advantage. Mary, what were you going to say about YouTube?
Well, one of the goofy things I like about YouTube is at least I've got a smart TV and I can get on YouTube on my TV and just kind of surf TV rather than watching too much cable news. I can, I won't go into what flavor, but that I can, get off of that and just put in genealogy and just wind up with some random thing that I hadn't realized I didn't know or wanted to learn about. So
yeah, exactly. Sometimes you didn't know, and now you know.
So. I think, Mary, do you have a YouTube channel?
I think I do have one, but I'm not sure how much I've put on it. I kind of started it when I lived in Australia, putting stuff up.
Okay. So I really challenge you to start one because you are so good at, you hear somebody say, I can't do this. And then the next day you're like, can I call you? Because I have the answer to your question. And then you go over it and then you write a blog post. But some of those blog posts, like your spreadsheet stuff with the concept of values and how you copy and paste it and make it all work and pretty. Yeah.
Exactly. I agree.
KBO.
I agree. You'd be fabulous with that. Just absolutely fabulous. And just to kind of plug, I just started one because of GenFriends. So if you don't want to miss an episode of GenFriends, and I'm toying with what else I want to put up there. So forgive me that right now it's just GenFriends, but that's really important, not just GenFriends. I'm toying with some other things that I may want to do. So if you don't want to miss an episode of GenFriends, would you click on the follow after you watch this video and follow me, so I have more than 2 followers because I just started it. So it's kind of sad. So I wouldn't mind at all if you would click to follow my YouTube channel. So you're watching the video, so hopefully you'll do that afterwards. Hopefully somebody's watching this video. So did I forget? Is there anything else that y'all use for social media that maybe we didn't cover? Or, are your lights getting ready to go out, Cheri?
I don't know. Who knows?
Are you having a storm or something? No. All of a sudden, they were blinking. I'm like, oh dear, our lights are going to go out. Anything that we didn't cover, or tip or experience that you've had?
I think an important tip is this. Yes, there are a lot of great channels out there that you can play on and do things on. You don't have to be on all of them. Pick one. Start with that.
Oh, I
Move
agree.
slowly through it. Learn it well. See what it does for you. Once you've got that under your belt and you're ready, explore the next one and do the same thing.
I agree.
Again, you don't have to be on all of them.
Nope. And just us here, and if more people had been able to come tonight, you would have seen that not everybody's on everything. And like you said, what works for you. and what works for the people that you're trying to reach, and where are the people that you're trying to find?
LinkedIn, that's one. Sorry, it just came to my head.
Okay, LinkedIn. Yeah. And see, that's something I haven't explored, and people have told me that I need to explore. So that's like one on my, to-do list that I haven't done. And so I'll have to get up higher on my to-do list.
Here's my why.
Okay.
I had it. I've got all my stuff on it. I don't really do much with it. In the beginning of May, I did the Celtic Genealogy Journey Cruise. 2 weeks around the Celtic Isles. It was beautiful. I came home and something happened. I got an email or something from LinkedIn, and I think it's my computer that's going dark, not my lights.
Okay.
I had all these messages that from people who were interested in the Celtic Genealogy Cruise and getting involved the next time to do it. So I thought, my God, I've missed all this. They were, and I replied to everybody. I am so sorry. This is not a channel I get on often. But let's talk, because I'm definitely interested in doing this again. So even if you put one together, and it's basically, it's an avenue for your resume. So even if you're not looking for a job, people are out there searching for you. This is where they're going to find your professional details.
Okay.
You can also link in your blog posts to posts over there if you want. But it's more about that contact and what you've been doing job-wise. So let's say the State Genealogical Society wants you to come talk at their conference. They can find where you've been speaking because you've got that all up there.
I gotcha.
So it's an avenue for that. And then just be aware and sign into it at least every couple of weeks. You're not missing anything fun.
That's probably true with each social media. If you don't sign in, then you can't get the messages from those cousins that you want.
Right. Exactly. And that's usually my first place to go and search for somebody. LinkedIn. I mean, I'll search on Facebook. Sometimes it's harder to really, I'm looking for John Smith in Prescott, Arizona. Okay, there's 5,000.
Yeah.
You can give it a little more of a search functioning in there.
More parameters. Okay.
More parameters. So that's a good one too. Just to, again, even if it's just basics, have your stuff out there.
Great. Well, thank you. Thanks, Mary. What about you? Anything we left out or missed?
I think you got it.
I think we got it. Well, I think it's just important to know that there are social media platforms out there that can help you find your family, that can help you read the records that you're finding. If you don't, read the language, there are places that'll help you. How do I organize this? What's the best kind of computer? Mine just went down. All sorts of different stuff. The genealogy community is a fabulous community. They are giving, they are helpful, they are, you're always going to find somebody that's, in any community, but for the most part, the genealogy community is a wonderful community, and we're there to help each other. That's what we're here for. We want everybody to be able to find their family.
Right.
So,
I did think of one more thing.
Of course, yeah.
The thing I really like about social media is a lot of times I'm friends with somebody on Facebook or LinkedIn or something, and then I go to a conference and I actually get to meet them in person, and that is really cool.
Yes, they're no longer the little square in the box.
Yeah. Oh, you breathe. Yay.
Yeah, I agree. I think
you're not a bot.
Yeah. My first really big genealogy conference, after I had gotten on and friended people and gotten to know people, it was amazing to walk in and go, oh, I know you. How do you know me? Because with the little picture on Facebook, that's how. Or the little picture on Twitter. It was RootsTech 2015 was the really big.
Donnie.
That was the Donnie conference. And I'm going to another Donnie conference since he's going to RootsTech London, people. Oh, I am so excited. We're going to have a replay. I wish everybody that was there could be there again so we can just do a take two.
Right.
So I'm so excited about that. So, and that's, that's another use for social media too, is to spread the word about what's happening at these places, because not everybody can go. So I know with Twitter, there's always a hashtag not at, and then whatever the conference may be. Or, people are doing blog posts and putting them on Facebook about the things that they learned, at the conference that they went to, or the institute they went to, or whatever it is that they went to. And they do the same thing on Instagram, and Pinterest will have photos and details of whatever happened at a conference. And so there's so many good uses for social media. So if you've been a little tentative to jump on this social media bandwagon, think about which platform you'd be more comfortable with, as Cheri said, starting with, and get going on it and see all the cool things and all the great genealogists you can meet doing this, so that you can get the help, because we do tend to be in our own little genealogy caves, and we work alone a lot. And so it's nice to be able to hang out online with our genealogy friends, our Gen friends, like we've done tonight. So with that, I want to thank you. Thank you so much. We had the Cheri, Mary, Terry show. It's been a while since we had the Cheri, Mary, Terry show. It's always fun when we do. Thank you so much, ladies, for coming on. And we wish you nothing but good luck, Cheri, with everything that that's ahead of you. And like I said, you are part of this panel, and you will stay. You're in the intro as part of this panel. You're not going anywhere, girl. I'm going to bug you all the time. Get on this panel. And Mary, as always, thank you so much for all your insights and your wisdom that you bring to and keeping me. I feel like you always keep me kind of rooted to the ground when I'm going places. So I appreciate that, because I can go off on a tangent. Anyway, so thank you so much. And thank you for watching Gen Friends. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.